Welcome to this week's edition of Freeze Dry Friday here at ABC Homestead. My name is Kelly, and this week we are baking banana bread, but not the usual kind. Instead of using fresh bananas, I'm going to be rehydrating some of my freeze-dried banana chips and even using the banana peel powder for extra nutrition and a zero waste bonus. The magic of freeze drying is that your pantry becomes your produce aisle. Now, banana peels are high in soluble fiber, which helps with digestion and helps promote gut health. And adding a few tablespoons can really boost the fiber content of banana bread without even really changing the texture that much. The peels are a mineral powerhouse, and just like the fruit, the peel is loaded with potassium, which supports heart health and muscle function. They also contain magnesium, which is important for bone strength as well as energy and metabolism. And they have calcium, which aids in bone and dental health. And they also have both iron and zinc, which are trace minerals that support your immunity and your energy levels. So using the peels maximizes the whole fruit, reducing kitchen waste and giving your bread a nutritional upgrade. Once freeze-dried and powdered, the banana peels add a mild, nutty undertone that blends well with the sweetness of banana bread. So this is going to be delicious. I have a lot more chips right here and peels right here than what I showed on a recent Freeze Dry Friday episode. And that is because I ran a whole nother batch. I wanted to show you the difference on a couple of things, but I also wanted to make sure that I had enough. So this is the peel powder that we made a couple of weeks ago on my freeze-dried Friday banana recipe or banana episode. And this is for the garden, and that's what I have it marked as, banana peel powder for the garden. That is because I didn't wash these peels. I knew they were organic bananas, and so I don't mind just grinding them down and adding them to the garden. But these I went ahead and washed before I freeze-dried them, so these I feel more confident in consuming, and so we're gonna get these powdered down today. And these 4 jars, we started with 5. One was eaten, mostly by me. They're absolutely delicious. These are the ones that we freeze-dried together. And then these are the ones that I recently freeze-dried. And I wanted to show you the difference in these because I had forgotten to add a splash of lemon juice and soak them in water with the lemon juice to help aid in keeping them more of a light color. So, and there is a difference. These are yellow brown and these are much lighter in color. And I made a mistake in what I said on that video. I said I didn't soak them in lemon juice, and I didn't mean that. I don't soak anything in straight lemon juice, not fruit anyway. What I do is I put a bowl of water next to me, and as I'm slicing the bananas, I put them in that water, and that water has maybe a tablespoon or 2 of lemon juice in it, so it's not full lemon juice, but it does make a big difference. So when we get these out to rehydrate these, we'll take a look at the difference. But we need to first start by getting these peels powdered down. We're only going to use about 2 tablespoons, but I'm going to go ahead and powder probably, well, let's start with half of one of these jars and we'll see if we need to do any more. And then we're going to get the banana chips rehydrated as well, and then we can get started baking. This is going to be amazing and highly nutritious. It's going to be really easy to turn these freeze-dried banana peels into powder just by putting them in a high-speed blender. I have the Vitamix that any high-speed blender should work. They are super dry. They're going to powder down very easily. That's about half of my quart-sized jar. This we're just going to do on high for a few seconds. So easy. I'm going to let this sit for just a minute because this is going to be powdery that wants to come up, and we'll get started rehydrating those banana chips. We want to have about 1.5 cups of pureed bananas for this. So let's take a look at the difference in these 2 chips. Now I gotta tell you that opening this jar smelled good. Opening this jar smelled amazing. So can you see the difference in color here. This one was soaked in water that had a little bit of lemon juice in it, and this one was not. So there's definitely a difference. They're both good. It's just aesthetically they're different. So I think I'm going to start with 2 cups to see if we can get 1.5 cups when all is said and done. And we want to use some very warm water to get these both rehydrated and then mashed down. So I've got my kettle heating up on the stove. And these just smell so, so good. So good. Love them. What a great snack. This bread is going to be amazing. To rehydrate food, you can do a weigh method. I just like to wing it with hot water, which means I go slow. So I start with a little. And this is nice and hot, and it is immediately melting these bananas down. One of the best parts about freeze drying is that I can bake in batches whenever I want to. I don't have to wait for bananas to ripen or risk throwing them away. My pantry is always stocked, so I can make 1 loaf or 5 loaves depending on the week or the mood. If you've tried baking with freeze-dried fruit or even fruit peels, let me know in the comments. Would you try banana bread with peel powder? This is about 1/2 cup so far, and we want a total of 1.5 cups. So I'm gonna grab 2 more pint-sized jars of banana chips, and we're gonna add until we get up to 1.5 cups. And I have probably added maybe 1/2 cup of water at this point. We're just gonna let that sit for a few minutes while we start whipping together the dry ingredients. But that's gonna leave us some to sprinkle some crunched up banana chips in the bread or on top of the bread as well, which I think is going to be a nice addition to this recipe. Before we start with the dry ingredients, actually, I am going to get the oven turned on to 350 degrees to pre-warm it. And we're gonna get our loaf pan ready. Now, you can grease this or spray this if you would like to. I'm gonna use parchment paper because that's gonna make it really easy to lift the loaf out when it's done baking. I like to crinkle my paper up first so it just goes in easier. Now, this is going to make some indentations on the side, especially on the shorter sides. So I'm just gonna try to fold it on that end so it's less noticeable, less dramatic of a crease. But honestly, I don't really care about the aesthetics because this is not gonna be given away as a treat. This is just gonna be consumed by us. And with our oven preheating and our pan ready to go, we can start making the batter. We're gonna start with 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. You just wanna make sure that your flour is fluffed up to start. And then you don't necessarily have to worry about weighing it. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And this is a 1/2 teaspoon measure, so I'll add twice. And we're gonna add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then 2 tablespoons of our banana peel powder. And I'm just gonna grab it right out of here, and I'll pour the rest of this into a container. This bread is perfect as a quick snack or breakfast or even as a gift. Slight banana, slight nutty aroma to that. We'll whisk together the flour, the baking soda, and the salt. The batter looks and behaves just like fresh. And now in a separate bowl, we're gonna start with our wet ingredients. We're gonna use a 1/2 cup of softened or melted and cooled butter. I softened this in the microwave, so some of it did melt, and that's okay. And 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And we're gonna mix that together really well until it's nice and fluffy. So we're just creaming these together until they are very well mixed. Brown sugar and butter is such a dreamy combination. Do you agree? It just smells so good. I'm making sure that there aren't any brown sugar lumps in here. That looks good. And then we're gonna add about a teaspoon or so of vanilla. I sometimes do a little bit more than that. And 2 eggs. And these eggshells will get saved. And we're going to get that mixed together a little bit, and then we're gonna add in the Rehydrated banana chips. Now you can also add in here, if you would like, you can add some shredded zucchini, even freeze-dried shredded zucchini, just rehydrate it first. Some chocolate chips, some walnuts. You could add cinnamon or nutmeg. You can add whatever you would like to this. I'm gonna keep this very simple and just do a traditional banana bread. And you cannot tell that these bananas were freeze-dried. You cannot tell. So we're just gonna gently fold that in here, gently mix it up. There's no need to get aggressive and over mix it. You don't need a hand mixer or a blender or anything like that. Oh, this smells so good. This is gonna get baked at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about an hour, and it already smells amazing. Who knew banana peel powder could be part of this mix? This is soft, moist, just the right amount of sweetness, and yes, even with peels, it tastes just like banana bread should, but it's so much more nutritious. We're looking for a batter that is nice and glossy, somewhat thick. This looks perfect. So we can get this poured into our prepared pan. And this is what I'm talking about on the edges where we might have some folds on the sides of our bread when it's done. And I'm okay with that. That is not a big deal to me. So we'll get this in there. And this is just a standard loaf pan, 8x5 or 9x5, I forget, but a standard loaf pan. I'm going to smooth out the top a little bit. Now I get to decide if I want to add some crumbled up banana chips to the top of this, and I think I will. Doesn't that look good? Probably press these into the dough a little bit. I don't want them to burn on top. We're gonna put this into the preheated oven for 50 minutes, and then I'll probably cover it with some foil just to keep the top from browning too much, and let it go up to about 10 minutes more, checking after about 5 minutes with a toothpick, insert it into the center and see if it comes out clean. It's okay if there's a few crumbs sticking to the toothpick, but you don't wanna see wet batter at all. I think that's gonna add a delicious crunch. Look at that. Press those in a tiny bit so they're not sticking way up and getting too browned in the oven. And this is ready to go in for baking. How easy was that? Seriously, come on, that was not hard at all. Banana bread from freeze-dried bananas. Smells absolutely incredible. I can't wait until my whole kitchen smells like this. And I can't wait to see what this looks like, tastes like, feels like when it comes out. So that's gonna be about an hour from now. And so I'll see you back here then. I said I was gonna check this at 50 minutes in, but it still has 7 minutes left on that timer, and I took a peek just through the glass, and it's getting kind of brown. And I don't want it to get too brown. Oh, that looks amazing. So I'm gonna cover it with foil now. I'll do the toothpick test on it now too, just because it looks done, but it's probably not in the middle. Actually, that came out clean. This might be done. Let me do a thermometer test on it. If this is done, that was a super quick cook. 45 minutes less. Just a couple minutes less than 45 minutes. That's 192, 93, 95. Now it's at 197.5. We want it to be at least 200 degrees, somewhere between 200 to 205 or 10 degrees. So I'm gonna put it back in for like 5 more minutes, and I think we're gonna be perfectly done, but I am gonna cover it now. We definitely don't want this to burn. It can be covered loosely. So 5 more minutes. And of course, oven times vary, so you can't go by my oven, but that was a super quick cook. And I'm happy about that. At the same time, I was making some Italian white bread in my Zoji Rushi bread maker, and for the first time ever, it beeped to tell me it was done, and it was still pretty much dough. It had gone through the second rise for sure, but it didn't cook. And so I put that in another loaf pan, and I guess I'm gonna finish that in the oven. I punched it down, reshaped it in here, which is a smaller loaf pan, and it has since risen. So when the banana bread comes out, I'm gonna put this in for maybe 30 minutes or so, and we'll try to get this baked off too, but that machine has never done that before. I've had it for less than a year, but almost a year, and I'm perplexed. I am really looking forward to this bread too, because I want my first of the season, and I know it's late, but my first of the season grilled cheese and tomato sandwich on homemade bread that has basil and oregano, freeze-dried herbs mixed into the dough. I think this is gonna be incredible. But it didn't finish baking in the bread maker, so hopefully it's not ruined. I'm letting it sit just on the other side of the range here so it can finish rising while this finishes cooking. But just a couple more minutes, we're gonna pull that out. I'm gonna let it cool, and then I will bring you back for that, and we'll get it sliced and we'll get it taste tested. This is now done. We are just over 200 degrees. And so let's pull this out and take a look. And it smells amazing in here. Is there anything better than the smell of freshly baked banana bread? And the parchment paper is going to allow me to lift this out so easy. It's not gonna stick to the pan at all. This looks fantastic. Look at that. Banana bread from freeze-dried ingredients. This is cool to the touch now, and I cannot wait to see how this turned out. Let's see how it slices. That looks like beautiful banana bread. Excellent. I can see pieces of the banana chips that just stayed bigger after rehydrating. I think that that is gonna make this taste super delicious, super moist. I'm gonna put a little bit of butter on there. My face is a little flushed. I just took the other bread out of the oven and that worked fine, or it seems to have, so yay, we saved that bread. Charlie can smell it. He's right here at my feet. He's thinking he's gonna get some banana bread. I don't think he is. All right, let's give it a taste test. That is so good. I'm gonna try a piece of the top. It has a little bit of the extra banana chip crumbles on it. That makes it amazing. Oh, it's like banana candy on top. This recipe turned out super, super good. I think the sweetness is perfect. You could add more sugar if you wanted to, but I think this is absolutely perfect. This would taste amazing with some nuts in it if you like nuts. And some zucchini shreds, some freeze-dried zucchini shreds rehydrated. If you did not see me make this, you would 100% not know that I used freeze-dried ingredients to make this incredible banana bread. It is so good. Incredibly delicious. If you've tried baking with freeze-dried fruit, or better yet, freeze-dried fruit peels, let me know in the comments below. Would you try banana bread made with peel powder? Thank you so much for joining me for another edition of Freeze Dry Friday, where we experimented with turning freeze-dried fruit and freeze-dried peels into delicious and nutritious sweetbread. And I gotta tell you, it was a total win. My name is Kelly, and you're at A Better Choice Homestead, where we try to make a better choice each day for our health, our wallet, and our future. Don't forget to subscribe for more Freeze Dry Friday experiments and fun, and I'll see you on the next one.